hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to Night School. Every night here on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel, we hold Night School, where we break down the most controversial subjects, the most urgent debates, the most pressing conversations going on in the world today. And tonight is no different. Well, it's actually a little bit different because tonight we are doing a live Thanksgiving Q&A. I gave my staff the night off, so we didn't do a full show. But I said, you know what? I still got to talk to the people. Still want to talk to the people, and not just talk to the people, but take your live questions and answers. We can talk about whatever you want. We can talk about political stuff, but who wants to do that? We can talk about family stuff, fun stuff, pop culture stuff, random questions. We can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. I'm just excited to be in the conversation with y'all. Hit the like button right away. Hit the subscribe button. Of course, you can always hit that join button and let us know that you are here. And before we get started, I need everybody who's a night school classmate to like this video and to share this link with everybody. Share it with your group chat, your social media community, share it with your friends, whoever. We want to make this global classroom as big as possible, as soon as possible. Now, you have to be a subscriber in order to leave a comment, but anybody who leaves a comment, you got to play by the rules. That means that you might not agree with me. You might think I'm crazy. You might think somebody says something wild. That's okay. You can agree. You can offer dissent, but what you can't do is use hate speech or harmful language. So if you do that, remember, we got chat moderators right here who are watching and paying attention. The first time, you get a warning in the comments. Second time, you get muted, which means that you can't leave a comment. And then the third time, unfortunately, we got to let you go. We got to actually ban you from the conversation. We don't want to do any of that. So hopefully we don't have to do any of that. So just as my producer says, keep it cute. But on to the more important stuff. And I see some hate already popping up in these comments. We have a very special guest tonight. Oh my God, my wife is joining us, the legendary Dr. Melissa. Can we call you Dr. Melissa? Is that okay?
Hey, I'll take it. I work for it. You know.
Exactly. So thank you for hanging out. I know you got a lot of stuff to do, and you've never actually joined night school before. You being near night school.
I've been night school adjacent a lot.
Exactly. You be outside, you be in the couch upstairs. Usually you go upstairs as we're getting started. So it's cool to actually have you in the room. I'm always talking about you and Malcolm and everything, but it's good to have you here. So you can help me. Hopefully you'll be on my side with lots of stuff. I'm gonna start with the most important thing. I got some comments that are coming in already. By the way, leave your comments. Of course, we'll give special priority to super chats, super thanks, super stickers. But any questions or comments we'll deal with, but that we can. But again, special priority goes to members and to super chat. But we got some stuff here. All right.
I can't see it. It's weird.
I'm finna bring it up. You're gonna see it.
Okay.
This is from Rosability, who's one of our channel members. And she said, "Hey fam, did everyone see Mark trolling Twitter about mac and cheese earlier? Bill Williams and another member said that man is a hater on mac and cheese. Even went so far as to say shouldn't speak on humanity's best creation so negatively." I don't know. There is a narrative that I am a hater of mac and cheese, and even that I am trolling. Can you help us understand the truth? Can you tell people the truth? Because I don't want them, they're not gonna believe me.
Okay. The truth is, I mean, you do not like mac and cheese. You have tried lots and lots. Oh, there's the book I was looking for. You've tried lots and lots of all types of mac and cheese, from various people. However, there is a little truth to the fact that now you be putting a little bit of sauce on it for
Which part? How so?
I mean, you don't like it, but also you know the people love it, and that they keep wanting you to try everybody's mac and cheese. So it's like you do be like poking a little bit at the people because you know mac and cheese is very near and dear to the hearts of many. However, you want to tell them about tonight though?
Oh, wow, you snitching. Okay. So we went to dinner tonight. And it was sort of family style. We got to order some of our own stuff, but like
Mhm.
the sides were family style, I guess.
Yeah.
And so they brought around stuff, broccoli, mashed potatoes, etc. And they said, "Would you like seafood mac and cheese?" What did I said,
Should I do it? Should I do it?
because I feel so much pressure from people like you, Bill Williamson, who bully me into trying this stuff.
I know. People can't understand the idea that people actually do not like. I mean, the reality is there's a lot of mac and cheese I don't like. I've had some very mediocre, nasty mac and cheese. I'm still committed to trying everyone's mac and cheese because I do like, but I do get how you got here.
That's
I
all I'm saying.
like it's
So,
just I mean, exactly. Just I don't even need the turkey. I love stuffing. So I can eat stuffing and mac and cheese and I'm kind of good. But you did let's talk a little bit about this
I was trying to change the subject. So I did taste the mac and cheese tonight. I tasted the seafood mac and cheese.
seafood mac. So it wasn't just regular, it was very doctored up.
It was a lot.
It was a
And
lot very doctored up.
how would you say I reacted to it? I want your
You were
honest.
surprised. You didn't love it, but you were like, I could eat this. But then you also then after on the way home said that you could also eat it without the cheese and the noodles. So
Right.
you wanted the shrimp and the crab.
Right,
Like,
right. It was like shrimp, crab, lobster with some cheese, some very sharp cheese. Cheese was very sharp.
yeah, and it's got, it was well seasoned. It was good. It was shells, it was fancy.
It was fancy.
It was a
It
little
was
fancy
fancy for
on the
sure.
fancy side.
But it wasn't terrible. Again, it was probably as good as I've ever had. And I was like, it's fine. If I'd never ate this again, I'd be okay.
Yeah. I mean, I probably, if I really had to be honest about it, I probably hyped up mac and cheese over the years. That's the reality too. Just
Do you feel like maybe meeting me allowed you to
yeah,
liberate yourself?
I can now express a little bit of, I don't have a disdain for. I like mac and cheese, so but I can feel okay not saying it may not always be the best. So we'll say.
That's fair. I mean, there's a lot of warriors out.
You choose to like just go in on your hate of mac and cheese though.
You know what it is, and honestly, it's just that I know there are a lot of people out there who are suffering in silence,
You
who
know
are
what?
hurting.
But this is how I feel about foodies in general. I'm not a foodie, so I feel like the non-foodies in society are ill-treated because we are not, we don't put food first in our lives like that. So I get that because it then makes me sort of go a little bit hard on the anti-foodieism.
Right.
But because it's like, all right, enough. like enough
So,
already.
so you said you're not a foodie, so that's super interesting to me for a lot of reasons. But you are one of those people who's had access to a lot of food because you travel a lot.
Yeah.
The people don't know you, so like talk to a little bit about like why do you what is your background? You're a traveler. How'd you become a traveler?
How did I become a traveler? My dad was a traveler. And so I sort of he wasn't playing that shit. Y'all be taking your little 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds out, and he's like, nah, you will go on this trip when you actually can remember and can, benefit from it. So I watched him travel from afar from the crib. And so I was like, he was like, yeah, I remember we went to Egypt with Dr. Ben and some other folks
Uh-huh.
back in the day. I think that was with Dr. Ben. Definitely with Naeem Akbar. Back when I was like in like 4th grade, and I was like, wow, like I was like, can I go? And he's like, no.
But I'll bring you something.
I'll bring you back an Ankh. He brought back some Ankh earrings, and then later on, that's why I had my tat. That's actually from my dad. The Ankh earrings my dad brought me when I was in 4th grade. But I don't know if I ever told you that. But
No, it's my first time hearing it.
I was actually
All the rest of the night school classroom.
right. I'm like, hey, that's where the tat came from. But yeah, so he traveled, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. And then I started probably with my sort of after my Howard. A lot of the Howard, I
That's
forced
a
him.
record, by the way.
Huh?
I did not think you were going to go 9 minutes and 53 seconds without mentioning Howard University.
And I
Although
think
having it in the background is kind of a cheat.
I know. That's why I was a little. I was like, see, I don't hesitate when I just position it carefully. I'm also Puerto Rican, so that's another.
Right. All the things in one.
Jersey. Those are the three things you know.
Oh God, yes.
So look, I want a whole 9 minutes, and so yeah, but yeah, so I sort of got the travel bug post Howard, and sort of like my dad told me that there are more people of African descent in the country of Brazil than anywhere outside of Nigeria, and so I was like, bet I'm going. And so that's how I first started out by living in Salvador Bahia in the summer of 2000 and something. 2000 something.
Right.
And then I sort of really honestly picked up in my 30s, and then did lots and lots of traveling to lots of countries. And that's where I was when all that changed in March of 2022. I was in Cape Town, South Africa, just come back in January from Ghana, was Hawaii in the fall. And then 2020, that was it.
I mean, it'll start again. We'll get you back out. I can't wait to just get you out.
Wait a second. Get out of here. No, I'm ready to be out.
Questions coming in. Bill Williamson said, "Does Melissa support your political movements?"
What do you mean specifically? Like just your activism and your the issues that are near and dear to you?
I think so. Bill, say a little more about that. We'll come back to Bill.
Because Mark is in a lot of things. I think we share a lot of our political ideology is similar. I think that's one of the things I found attractive about him. I was like, oh, yeah, politics, bro. I like it. I was like, and Ronnie, again, I'm my daddy's daughter, so there were certain things that I was like, okay, you about love of Black people and liberation and freeing people around the world. So that has been I've respected that a lot about in terms of the work that Mark does, and I think we've talked. I've heard him talk about this, and it's true in terms of I couldn't imagine being with someone who was just the polar opposite when it came to political views. We'd have different we share similar values in how we see the world, and I think that's important.
Yeah, we probably there are a few things that we disagree strongly on. I can't think of one.
No, honestly, and
big stuff.
No, we we might be doing like, well, maybe you want to see this little other aspect of it, or folks are saying this is another angle to this thing we might need to consider. But broadly, I think when we talk about abolition, I think that's where we may have a little bit of more questions about it, where I support the movement, but I also understand people's concerns about prison abolition as a whole, but I also understand why, so I think that's one of probably the areas where I think I struggle with a bit.
But you're not like an anti-abolitionist.
Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You're not like unfree them all.
No, absolutely not. I'm like free them all, but I'm like, but because I feel there's certain issues that I feel that I struggle when it comes to children, when it comes to DV, when it comes to certain kind of violence, where I'll be like, and I'm also like, like, so kind of thing. I'm like, I think about the people who suffer on the street and how to make them safe, and so I'm like, incarcerating people and making them worse than they went in is not the way, but also just let folks, having grown up in East Orange and just initially and seeing people kind of do them like, I don't really. You need to be somewhere. And if we all of a sudden we start putting people and creating other alternative systems that end up mirroring prisons, I feel like that's where it ends up going eventually. Because so it's a little, but I think that, but generally everything else, I think that's the one issue where I'm like, I struggle with. I still haven't heard some good reasons in terms of figuring some how to work that.
And I think that's right. I mean, it's a challenge. Abolition in particular is a challenge, even for me. As an abstract idea, it's different than when you're in the midst of trying to figure out how to solve a problem.
Yeah. And I think about victimization. I think about particularly like gender-based violence and things like that. I'm like, it's Yeah, I think I'm more like we need to figure out how to work this out in a way that's actually practical, but basically
Right.
not that I'm so opposed, but that I'm like, nah, so I push back a little bit on that because I want more answers. So yeah.
What would you say is like the big your it's probably not a fair question, but where, like, people know me as somebody who focuses on Middle East stuff, somebody who focuses on abolition stuff. I don't want to ask what you care the most about, but what would you what would you say you what takes up a lot of your time on a day to day, like that you think about a lot?
I mean, I'm very emotional. I get very emotional.
Right.
I'm like, please don't make me cry on this thing. I mean, obviously right now, genocide is just at the forefront. I was in Palestine in 2015. So, and just, I mean, displacement in general, I do work around gentrification. Housing is a big thing for me. I'm a Latin Americanist in terms of my research, but thinking about the diaspora that, the Black and African diaspora as a whole. Again, I'm thinking a lot about housing and sort of housing justice and just having, healthy, safe spaces for people to live and thinking about, that work a lot. And yeah, the unhoused, that is something, I mean, getting folks houses and homes that are safe does a lot. It checks off a lot of other struggles are somewhat not necessarily fully resolved, but taking care of a lot if people have healthy, safe homes to live in.
That's
So like I think the housing issue, but again, as it's evolving. But the work right now, I've done a lot of work around gentrification for many years. I want to move away from that, but it's still rooted in people being forcibly displaced. So yeah, I think that's always a thing.
a lot of people in the comments agree with that, by the way.
Yeah, housing first, or particularly for those who are struggling with mental illness, those who are experiencing, again, violence within the homes when it comes to children. I mean, there's so many things like housing first, and it's like, give people houses, yo. Like it ain't. And I go to other spaces, I'm looking at social housing in other countries. And I'm like, yeah, this is social housing. I'm like, this is nicer than what I got now. Like, okay, but when you prioritize that, it's about priorities. Just redistribution of the wealth. That's a big thing. That again, that would be a game changer. But we're not committed to that here. We're like, ooh.
Right. Like anything but that. Option 2, please.
Right. Like it's wild.
By the way, family, I just brought in our Twitter family. I brought in our Twitter family here because there's a lot of people who watch us on Twitter. I was trying to be a little petty and not let them in because sometimes the Twitter people don't come over to YouTube, and so we don't get the views and things like that.
Come on, tweet us.
Exactly. So if you're over there on Twitter, you can come in the room, but after you watch and see this awesomeness, why don't you slide over to YouTube, support us, not just supporting us, but also allows you to be in the conversation as much as possible. You can leave more comments. You can have more a different kind of conversation with us. Some people are listening in also from the car, like D. Marie. Shout out to you. Housing should be a human right, Bill says. Yeah, we agree. There's some other questions here that we're gonna get to about you and me.
I'm very silly, y'all. So I'm saying right now. Again, Mark always talks about this community that he's always it's a good community that y'all are building together. So it's nice.
Karen D said, "Hey, happy to." Why she gotta be my better half? Like, why can't she just be the other half?
Does she know?
Not even I ain't think I gotta be the worst half. Why I gotta be the better half? I can't just be half.
I'm better.
Yeah, I know.
More better.
Yeah. People tapped in here. Rory tapped in. I see people coming in from X now, I guess you call it. Speaking of which, somebody asked, Rolando asked, speaking of slide over, I know where that was going. Who has made the move? Who has made the move to Blue Sky?
You have, right? Like, didn't you?
Yeah, that's my phone keep going. I started with like how our friend Hal told me to do it one day, and I was like, fine. I've been meaning to go to Blue Sky, and I only had like one follower. Now I have
on there. I remember I got on Spill, and then I was like, oh, it's too much work. And then
Well, I think I talked you into the spill thing too.
yeah, because somebody asked me the other day, they're like, why don't Black people, so like, get like create a whole thing? And I was like, nah, that was for a second. There was like a movement. I don't know. I'm like, I'm on it. I just never, I was like, I want the, I don't know.
Yeah.
But somebody did make the point was like, I think this was RuPaul, my homegirl RuPaul, was sort of like, like thinking about how, let's say Jay, like it needs to be backed by somebody that kind of brings the slide, right? Brings everybody over.
Right. And I think that's what's going to take, either some internet campaign or some person, something like you said, to make people go, all right,
Yeah.
I'll sign up.
Yeah. And yeah, what is your,
I don't know. It's a lot. I know I'm just Marc Lamont Hill, but like, you got to type all this stuff to get
it
there.
seems like a lot of letters.
Yeah. It's like,
it's like so many letters. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. It's like marklamonthill.bsk.social. It's like,
that's also like BSK. Okay.
I don't know. I'll type it in for y'all.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll type it in for people. But I will say the conversations are good. It feels pure. It feels very much like early Twitter.
Early Twitter.
Yeah. And people have strong feelings about it. Maya Torres clearly has strong feelings about it. I think we all are feeling that that F Elon energy.
Oh, we do not curse on this.
I curse all day.
Okay, I'm about to say,
I'm not cursing. It was just in that moment.
Being conscious of it, so it's like, I want to know the rules, the comfort. Like I want to,
yeah, no
expectations.
Be yourself, girl.
I was like, how that is. I've been dropping.
Yeah, I know. In a minute, y'all we got Dr. Richard Pryor over here.
Right. Twitter back in 2009 was a time to be alive. That was a moment.
It was so much. The jokes were fun. The people were cool.
Initially, I only followed. This is funny when you think about it. Like, well, it's crazy to think about why I got on Twitter. It was actually like Diddy and what's his name?
I'm sorry.
I know it's crazy to think about because I didn't know what Twitter was, and Diddy and what's his name from that 70s show? Jeez Louise, I'm forgetting.
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher. They were having some kind of competition or something about who can get the most followers. And I was like, what is this Twitter thing? And that was like then. And then by 2009, I remember I only followed comedians initially. So just jokes. I was like, oh, it's so fresh. And I was like, all right, let me branch out. And then I created another one. And then, yeah, but it was nice. And now I don't know what that toxic waste dump of I don't know. But again, you get to know how people feel out there. Definitely.
That is absolutely true.
But then how healthy is that to be just exposed to that foolishness for that much?
This is how they do it. This is how when you do start doing cable news interviews, this is how it's going to be. You'll say something.
I'm like, wait, what?
And you'll just be talking. Hey, you don't even know what's happening.
I was part of the cult of, yes, right. It's like, did they Ashton Kutcher and Diddy party?
Yes, I was in between Ashton Kutcher and Diddy.
I think it was like that. They were on somebody's show too. I don't remember if it was like VH1. I mean, back I was like, what show was everyone on? Yeah, like, yeah. I'm like, what? I didn't say.
I'm just
a
reporter. I just report what I see. I have no control over what happens on the lower third. That is not my job.
Awful. You see how you do.
Yo, has anyone had a worse drop off, a worse fall off than Diddy?
Because we OJ.
But that's a good one.
OJ's was precipitous because he also, the white people really loved him. Some OJ.
White people.
We love Diddy too, but really
different. They loved OJ so much they thought he wasn't
here.
Right. Oh, white people put OJ in the "you're not one of them" category.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my God, you are one of them. You're one of us.
Right.
Yeah, but Diddy was a bit more universal and larger globally by far than OJ. So, Jake is next. So yeah, that's a little bit. That's. I think Diddy's drop was probably bigger than OJ's because of the global reach.
Yeah.
Puff was just bigger.
And it was so precipitous. Like People say that, like, no, see, like Bill saying Michael Jackson, no.
Because he didn't have the big fall.
Right.
Like, he didn't have the everybody like
Everyone
abandon.
didn't abandon Michael. A lot of people still don't abandon
Right.
Michael. Suge, absolutely not. No, 'cause Suge was
No,
never up.
he was never that up, and even his fall was like, it's like now he has Harvey Weinstein. Except that we weren't all up on him, but yeah,
Right.
Cosby's fall was actually pretty. That's a good one.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good one because Cosby, but we all hated Giuliani.
Right.
there's a those of us who grew up in the New York area, like Giuliani. Mayor Giuliani got the Luciano. Like, he was always the worst. R. Kelly too, but R. Kelly wasn't as big as Diddy.
And it wasn't precipitous.
Yeah, it was
It was like a slow.
It took people more and more. I dropped him after that Vibe article back in like 01, 02.
And you were an early dropper.
I was a very early dropper because I read that Vibe article and I was like, nah. That Vibe article back in like 01, 02 when the Best of Both Worlds was out. And that article was sort of like, yeah, if there's I just remember this thing where it said, like, if there's a young girl in the room, like, he seeks her out. Like, well, that article was damning. And I was like, nah. And folks, and I was arguing with people at that point. I remember asking people, like, if you found, this is my example at the time. I was like, if you found out Ron Isley did that to your mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, well, we got to treat all of these, like, we have this, these are all our children. These are all our family. These are all our, like, people, like all these young women. And then turns out also young men as well. So then that's when people care, change it up a little bit. But yeah, Bill Cosby is the one that, did I ever tell you about, this is random, but like when I was younger, how I think about like, that, when I realized that everyone's going to die. And I was so emotional thinking about the fact that Bill Cosby was going to die. That's how much we love Bill Cosby. I was like, oh my God, one day Bill Cosby's going to die too. Like, that's how much, like, he was,
Yeah,
and one that was loved by white people. Everybody loves him.
Everybody loved it. My dad.
Now I'm thinking too, as we talk about precipitous drop, like part of it was that he already was starting a little bit to be on the decline with us because of just his sort of more conservative
speech and all of that,
and his like family thing. So he's already a little bit going down, heading a little bit downhill for some of us. So it wasn't like in that same kind of like. Whereas with Diddy, I remember literally a couple weeks before thinking about that Love album, and I was like, wow, he's going to win a Grammy for this. What a comeback. Michael Richards had big drops.
It was a good.
They ate him right back up again.
Yo, Michael Richards is not a bad one though. I mean,
it's not, but he didn't feel it. He didn't feel it that. I mean, you know what? I don't know. Let me not say that because
I heard from since.
I about to say that is he, but yeah, but I also he's a quirky comedian too. Like I've seen him do and have conversations with other comedians.
Oh, since.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of what he was on for y'all. But I'm very into comedy.
I'm very comedy nerd.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think of who he had a conversation with, or someone was talking about him. It's just still a large community that still really loves him. Kevin Spacey too was another one.
Now he's one.
He is. We haven't seen him in a minute.
And House of Cards was like.
Yeah, it was at a peak moment of that show.
And then they just
they were like, you got to go. Like you got to go. Yeah, I mean there's
that's tough too, man. When you have like these
that meltdown was wild.
Like that one moment.
Yeah.
And it's all over. Like, I mean, like Mel Gibson, someone saying Mel Gibson, like Mel Gibson at least. I mean,
Mel Gibson was on my list because I made a whole blog post back in the day of I used to fuck with her, but now wait, no, what was it on GP? I can't fuck with. I used to love her. I used to love him. Now I can't fuck with you. Or something. It was a whole list I made on my first blog. And I had Mel Gibson on there. I had R. Kelly. I had Chick-fil-A. I had again early adopter of the get off the Chick-fil-A wagon. But Mel Gibson was one that hurt because I'm a Braveheart fan. Like Braveheart is one of my favorite movies. And that Mel Gibson was like, yo, this dude is wilding. Like
he went full. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that was like, I'm so rich and powerful, I can say whatever I want now. I don't care anymore.
How long was it deep down in there? Was it just like
right?
I was like, this dude this is my Braveheart? This is William Wallace? Like, it's the freedom thing at the end. Like I always used to be all emotional. I get all emotional at that, and then that was just crazy. Oh yeah, that was wild. Wow.
Chick-fil-A is trash. To Orlando DD says, so if you mean as a company, yes.
Record label, the whole thing.
You're trying to convince me that those delicious nuggets and that succulent,
they continue to be trash.
Yeah, politically they're trash, but the food is delicious. That's what makes it such a
I mean, that's why you have to. That's why taking a stand is like you're actually losing something,
right? Like if White Castle, right? If it was like White Castle, nobody would give a shit. Wait, you like White Castle?
I like White Castle. I don't know why people not White Castle, and I never got sick like everybody talks about. I think y'all just are sensitive bellies. I don't know, but those burgers, especially when you drunk or you're like what? White Castle? Maybe it's a Jersey thing because we actually still have castles. We have White Castles that still look like castles. They're what? And then they started introducing the mozzarella sticks with the little cheap marinara. Delicious. You hate good things. We've established this. Again, as a non-foodie, I just like what I like. I ain't got that.
I've never. It's funny. Like there are things I asked you before we got married, like about all kinds of things, right? Things you need to know. I didn't think to ask if you like the White Castle.
It's good
because
it's good. It's yummy. I mean, it hits the spot. The way those burgers dissolve in your mouth, and you're like, is this actual? But you don't eat beef. Oh, and then they did the little chicken rings. Come on, man.
I had a White Castle burger.
What year was that?
Early 90s, 92, 93.
Oh, so you've been eating beef in like 20 years.
More than that. Yeah, close to the 30s. And oh my God, Antoine, don't encourage my wife.
Thank you. When you have, oh man, it is chef's kiss. Delicious. Again,
maybe that's what it is.
And maybe that's because that kind of the only time I eat it. I mean, really, I don't know the last time I ate them. I heard they're good. I heard the frozen ones are good. You're a hater, Mark. Everyone's right.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Put that up. Mark is a hater. Turns out everyone's right. Yeah.
Wait a minute. They make clam?
Yes. Everything they made, anything they deep fried was delicious. And those burgers off the grill with the little tiny onions and the bread's all soft. I mean, you could literally just put it in your mouth and let it dissolve in there. Pause.
One day you're gonna learn how internet clips work, and you'll never say a sentence like that again.
Yeah, I heard it.
I'm already thinking, I'm going to do with that clip.
Like splice just right.
Right. Thank you.
Right.
Oh my God, seafood at White Castle is wild.
I'm trying to think of they have that fish sandwiches. Everybody got a fish sandwich. A fish sandwich. I don't really know what that is, but
I know what it ain't.
Yo,
fish.
Onions. Wow. Like they're just chopped just
that's
right.
That's actually what I remember from them is them little ass onions.
They're
little ass, this is a sandwich for ants.
It's just delicious. I don't know why.
Oh, y'all got that, yo. Y'all got that. Rose Billy
said, I mean, I'm still thinking of like some McNuggets I had one time in DC after a party at Howard at the Georgia Avenue McDonald's. Still thinking about those nuggets. Like they're just
my late night
diner. I'm putting him onto the diner game. I'm trying to put him onto. He's learning the diner game. Like in Jersey, we take the diners very serious. Okay,
I can't do no diner. Like so in Philly, diners were like the worst thing you could eat. Not the worst thing, but they weren't special. Jersey diners are special. I gotta say.
You get now to Tops, right?
Yeah,
come on, Tops is Tops.
Yes.
Well, they've just expanded 100 times until in the parking lot.
In North Jersey, Top Diner is great. Like that shit is like a fancy restaurant.
Exactly. I mean, you want their seafood.
I will eat. Yes, I will eat Jersey Diner.
Eating lobster at a diner.
Why is everybody weighing in with more food items at White Castle? White Castle, I knew had these little ass burgers. Everybody's like, you should try the clams. The lobster fra diavolo is wonderful. What the fuck?
How do you think they still are around when everything shut down? It's because they figured out.
Because alcoholics apparently have meetings there.
There's a problem.
It sounds like a place for. Sounds like an AA meeting.
Yeah, I'm mad.
Oh my God! Thank you, young black economists. I think they're I think they're with me. That's that's what I associate with it.
I don't know.
It's the Howard McDonald's, not the Georgia Avenue. Is that what y'all call it?
Yeah. I did it for the people. I'm a bison. Like I'm not gonna talk about our McDonald's. Like,
Oh my God! Things that my wife will never eat. Indian is good here. Indian food. They're telling us. I
I
think
know.
that's nothing we agree on. I don't think we'll ever have a fight over over going to the Indian restaurant.
No, and it's again, I just don't like spicy, super spicy or mushy food. I'm a texture person, so I can't do Ethiopian. But you can do Ethiopian. You could probably do Indian.
Maybe.
And I
I'll stick,
can't. I can't do either.
I'll stick with my Ethiopian food. I love Ethiopian. That I will eat. So it's funny. AK just came in. We've already talked about mac and cheese, AK, but the question is, how does she feel about salt and vinegar? I am known in night school as a salt and vinegar chip eater.
Yeah.
You're a little bit snitching because she doesn't know quite as many chips at night as y'all might know. But not often. I haven't done it in a long time.
Because usually I'll see them kind of around.
Yes. We haven't really done it much since we moved to this new location.
Yeah, like the salt and vinegar chips. I'm not a huge. I'm a sour cream and onion. If I was to take it back, it would be the sour cream and onion or what's the other joint? The cheese joints. Yeah, but not the sour cream and onion. I mean, not the salt and vinegar. It's fine if I only end up eating them because they're around somewhere like in your car and we're hungry. Like,
yo, and they made a mistake of opening up a spot around the corner that sells wrap snacks. I'm trying to tell you, I am a wrap snack.
Where did I find them the other day? And I was like, what are these wrap snacks? Where they go?
So they got the little baby. I think I gave you the little baby all-ins. Which is the salt and vinegar barbecue, onion and garlic, but they also got
so many things. It's like, again, like you're doing too much. Why are there so many flavors here?
I know, but I had the little baby honey. They got the little baby honey cheddar and cheese. They also got Cardi B
cheddar. That's what I like.
Honey drip butter popcorn, which is good.
Sorry, when did they expand into popcorn? They like White Castle have been on the rise.
Oh, Rap Snacks, it has grown. They also got the Cardi G. This is something you'll never eat, like the Cardi B jerk barbecue wavy chips. But the ones that I think you might eat are the little baby barbecuing with my honey heat. Those are really good.
This is a Philly creation, right?
Yes, Rap Snacks along with Chumpy's chips. Both things, Rap Snacks and Chumpy's chips.
Should I know Chumpy's chips?
They came out at the same time. And what they did was Chumpy's was actually bigger. We in Philly, Chumpy's was super big slang for us. A Chumpy is kind of like a John.
I mean, we used to say Chumpy. That I feel like we used to use that a little bit.
Like, yo, that Chumpy over there, yo, give me that Chumpy, right? So it didn't last long, and so the guy that made it focused more on the Rap Snacks. And back then, Rap Snacks didn't have
both.
What'd you say?
He made both.
He made both, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He made both, and then he just kind of he leaned in on the Rap Snack.
Creation of some white folks who were like, "How can I capitalize?" Stop putting.
I didn't. That was an actual accident, but it's better than the other headline.
Right. Pass that one around the internet.
But yeah, it's a black man, a black man, a Kappa, from Cheney State University or Cheney University.
Cheney used to be Cheney State.
Mm-hmm. Cheney State Teachers College.
Look at that! Didn't know.
It was Cheney State.
Hampton Institute. Shout out to Jared.
Okay, so if anybody here went to Hampton, I'm telling you now, you just expect nothing. But they're gonna be shots fired.
No, but the thing is, though, like it's HBCU love. Like we can talk about that amongst ourselves because we love each other.
Right.
We just know that how it's better.
I'm going to co-sign that because it makes my life easier. I have no nickel in that quarter. It's the same way when Cheney and Lincoln people up north.
Yeah, Cheney and Lincoln people do go. They got a little Pennsylvania beef in there. Who's first? Don't they have like a who's
the first HBCU?
Why that's a debate though? Isn't there a
because
term? Or is
they're both right. Like one was the first. Like Cheney was the first degree granting institution.
Okay.
But Lincoln, I believe, was around sooner as an institution for Black people, but didn't give out degrees at first.
So what did they do? Which is educating and not.
Yeah, I don't know. It was some
How much
18.
was it?
It was some 18. I mean, slavery had just ended.
I
I
know,
mean,
it's like
it
1867, or well, they were before. We were 1867, so they were what 18. I mean, were they before? But they weren't prior to emancipation, were they?
let me look because you asked some good questions. I don't be knowing.
Because I mean, it used to be. I mean, yeah, can't be.
But I know that
Well, it was
that
Pennsylvania.
is,
They could have done it before emancipation too, given it was
they
Pennsylvania.
may have. Yeah, they did. It was founded as the private. Lincoln was founded as the Private Ashman Institute in 1854.
Okay. Yeah, that's
And it was second. It says it's the second HBCU in the state after Cheney, but it's the first college degree. I got it back. It's the first college degree grading HBCU in the country.
I get that. So it was an institution of
Yes.
expanding learning, but it wasn't degree granting. And the other one, I mean, Lincoln
Cheney wasn't degree
Cheney
granting. Right. So Lincoln was the first college degree granting HBCU in the country.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. As Ashman Institute. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's the substance of the beef, or not the beef, but the
claim. Who's either? Yeah, the claim.
So I am an exotic snack guru. 2025 snacks on deck. Exotic snack guru. You should have a business card to say that, bro.
That's a great exotic. I mean, because that's you and gummy bears. Have you told them about your gummy bears obsession? Did they know?
Oh, I wouldn't call it an obsession. I would call it a.
Try and give this man Haribo or Haribo.
Haribo is the White Castle of gummy bears.
This man good. Don't let him find some Albanese with some exotic flavors.
I'm trying to order some today and sneak them into the house.
Snack guru.
Yeah, I almost had to curse out my delivery driver because I tried to sneak some into the house today, and he tried to bring the wrong flavor. I was
there was a huge one in the there wasn't a huge one in the cabinet that we got rid of.
Yeah, we got rid of. I got rid of them.
But they're the little packets from the Halloween.
Oh, but those are regular Albanese. I moved on to
You see, y'all see.
You know what? I may walk in there. I think I got set up.
Right, exactly. I'm like, what's wrong with the regulars?
Right. I should know when you were directing me toward gummy bears.
I'm like, I'll just let you tell yourself.
Right. Somebody here was asking about water ice versus Italian ice.
Yeah, that water ice. I mean, they all taste the same to me. I mean, I don't know, like
those New Jersey.
We Italian ice or Piraguas or something like. But I think that's just something they made up, like subs or hoagies, like. I'll just say for the record, technically, apparently, New Jersey created the submarine sandwich. But I mean, that's just the word on the street.
Is that the word on the street?
That's what the history says, that we are the creators of the submarine sandwich. But,
So I'm just going to say that water ice and Italian ice are different. And as far as hoagies and subs go, yes, they are effectively the same thing, although Philly hoagies are different.
Yeah, they're not as good. But but you know what? Like I guess if I think about water ice being, it feels creamier. Like it feels like, as opposed to like being ice, which you pour, you pour syrup on. It's like it's almost like an ice, like the way that ice cream is just all the flavor packed into. You can't separate them. You can't separate the flavor from the water from the ice. Right?
That's a pretty good breakdown of and they taste different.
Yeah, I like water ice though. It's
of course you do. You like nice things.
Rita's, what was the little song?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Play the music. Rita.
I'm not doing my water ice song in public.
There's a Rita song that he likes to sing about the Rita water ice. It's not as slushy, because I think Italian ice is more slushy. It's not slushy.
No, I know. I'm angry at AK right now. Whoever you are, sir.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God, you people.
Shaved Kool-Aid. How you feel about that, Mark?
I'm enraged. That's all I'm gonna say. Other questions, y'all. By the way, again, we're taking questions. We're not gonna hang much longer. It's already been 45 minutes. By the way, don't time be moving?
It does. Y'all are fun.
This is how I end up here for an hour and a half.
I
Sometimes.
get it. I get it. Nah, I'm like,
But yeah, we don't have to just talk about food, y'all. Although I'm enjoying not talking about anything heavy.
it's like gelato. I think water ice is closer to gelato. Although gelato, I think is still a little bit creamier.
So that was even creamier. Yeah,
it's even creamier. Yeah, that's that.
Oh, here's something good. Rosability said, just in case people are listening and not watching, Rosability said, okay, everything I watch is serious and miserable. I need more comedy recommendations, please, Melissa.
Let me tell you what I just watched the other day, and I just think it is so Girls 5 Ever. Like it was one of the things that just keep popping up. Cause like I need the mindless. Again, everything is miserable and horrible. So like one of the things I do is sometimes I'll even look at lists, like what are the top comedies right now? That's how I ended up with Schitt's Creek. And I tried to watch it twice or 3 times, and I was like, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, I'm not these formerly rich white people. I'm not I'm not super won over by them and their story if I'm compelling. And then I kept reading the list, and they were like, this is the best. And then my friend, she was like, Leanne, she was like, nah, it's really good. And I was like, all right, let me get another shot. And I love them. So it was such an endearing show. So Schitt's Creek, if you haven't watched that, Girls 5 Ever is the one I just finished. And it's just right now, it's only 3 seasons. So hilarious. And so just, again, just feel good. Superstore is another one that I loved. I got Mark to watch. I ended up watching that whole thing during almost over again at like later in the pandemic with him. British comedies also, although I ended up liking a lot more serious things with the Brits. I ended up like Peaky Blinders, love it, but those aren't necessarily.
Maybe watch Peaky Blinders too.
Yeah. Is it Girls Five is so the black girl? I mean, I love them all. They all, again, I like an endearing, lovely cast. But like things, I'm trying to think of what actually is like really, really, really. I was gonna get you to us to watch. There's some like older ones, not super old, but like, what's the one? It's a really sweet show with Minnie Driver, and it was like, and their son, I think, has cerebral palsy. It was just again another genuinely funny and in really yes, so good. Oh, and we love right now. We love Shrinking.
Shrinking is the shit.
Again, another great one.
There's a new episode tonight. We actually passed up the episode to hang out with y'all.
Oh yeah, it was, and of
Melissa,
course
you already told me a new episode.
And then obviously we love Abbott. Abbott Elementary is just Abbott on Abbott on Abbott. Like wait, what's Black Books? Is that another one?
So it's funny because when Rosability first wrote this, not ignored the comment. I skipped it. I thought she was asking us to recommend the Black Books, but then
is that another one? Is that a comedy? I'm like, okay. British comedy. Oh, okay. I love a good. I'm trying to think of what are some of the British comedies that I watched. Again, I end up watching a lot more serious things. Although I love the woman from Fleabag. I tend to watch what she does. I like what she does, even though they're shorter. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other ones that were just genuinely feel good, funny, other than the sort of the classics like The Office and yeah, the sex life of college girls is back too. I like that one. It was just, although again, a little bit more. Again,
is it heavy? Does it get heavy?
It's not heavy, but it's also not all light. Like Girls 5 Ever is like kind of like all light. I'm prison because we looked at that. I was like, I don't know.
So Antoine, we don't know your taste in TV. We're snobs a little bit.
I'm very serious about my comedy.
We take it very seriously, and we gotta really want to. It has to make us laugh.
I remember when that show came out, and I was like,
yeah, we looked at the trailer, and because I wanted to like it, I wanted to watch it, and I wanted to like it. We both looked at the trailer and was like, and I haven't heard any great reviews. I haven't heard anything bad about it. I haven't heard much about it at all.
The sister, Michelle Buteau, the one that you said that you realized I had a secret life in the bathroom when you looked at the tweet.
Oh, please, I understand. My wife has a whole secret life. So we watch TV together most nights. And so if you ask me, if you could ask my wife, like, what does Mark watch? She could say he's watching Shrinking, he's watching Grey's Anatomy, although I've watched every episode now. We'll talk about that. I can't believe he watches Abbott. I mean, she would say that I watch all the things that she watches with me, and that would be pretty true.
Survival of the Thickest. That's hers.
So then we go out or we're talking to somebody, and we'll be talking about TV shows, and the person will be like, "Oh, have you seen such and such?" I'm like, "No, we have." She's like, "No, no, no." He hasn't seen it. I'm on season 6, episode 7. In fact, I just saw it last night, and it was like 3 more shows later. She'd seen all this shit. And I'm like, when are you watching these shows?
Listen, for those who have a nightly routine, okay, let's talk about the nightly, because that's actually how I watched all the seasons of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia as well. Was I started, it was beginning to end, and that's like the longest running comedy. I don't know if it still is, but it was. The nightly routine, man, the nightly routine is like 30, 45 minutes. So I used to be like very annoyed with having to like, the brush your teeth, wash your face, like all the creams, all the potions and lotions, right? Like it was taking forever. And then I was like, I must just start watching, taking my phone and start watching, like go through a whole series. So I just ran through Scrubs all again. I haven't watched that since I was, for many years. I just ran all through Scrubs again, got all the way. I watched Ally McBeal. Oh, I used to do that though when I was pumping, when I'd be pumping breast milk. Just some of it's just going back, but yeah. So the nightly routine. So while you're sitting there brushing, you just can get through some. So it made me look forward to having to do the annoying, yes, the moisturizing, all the whole routine. So
she has a whole world and a whole other set of TV shows.
He doesn't believe in lotion.
Oh, I don't believe in lotion. I am the ashiest human being ever. I embarrass her.
I just can't believe it. I don't even know how that's a thing that you could just not even care.
No interest in your stupid lotion.
His skin is like a different color on his legs.
It be looking like I have on long johns.
Why is he so dusty?
Y'all have no idea how ashy I am under this camera.
How many lotions I've bought and versions? I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit you with this coconut. I'm gonna hit you with this. Like, he refuses bottles, shea butter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, here. I got all of it.
Yeah, you like, it's right here. You're making a collection. I don't know what the aversion is. Like, yeah, it just I don't understand.
It's an extra step.
Is it just another thing to do? Is it just like more work? Because I can't, like, sometimes just be like, I just can't do another thing.
I've done. I do it when I need to do it.
I think you should feel like you need to do it all the time.
That's the
point. You always need to. Like,
you're not understanding the point here.
Right, people can see you. Like, just because you're not wearing shorts all the time. I think that's the thing. When you were wearing shorts, you weren't even doing your hair. When I
wear shorts, I will use lotion. I never go out with shorts on. I rarely wear shorts, but when I do, I always put on lotion. It don't be because that's like goes back to high school. Like you get clowned for being ashy. And if we didn't have lotion, we would make I'd go to the sink. I'd do something. We've
been at the Sixers game. They're like.
It'd be the hands. That's right. It'd be the hands. It'd be the hands that get it.
Hands, because it just be so ashy. That's why I said the itchiness. I was like, this doesn't like the breaking, but you're totally unfazed. Like
unfazed.
It didn't even matter. Like,
no, Cynthia. I scratch because I'm sleepy. That's my sleepy.
That's his tail. He's do one of these. And you be like, lights out.
Right. Y'all better. Jazz LP said the other night, y'all better get your questions in. He's doing his beard scratch.
Yeah, 2 minutes before he's gonna be talking like, what? I'm sorry. But you fight the good fight though when you're tired, try to act like.
I be trying. Especially out here on the show, because I be tired every night, but I be like,
oh, I know.
Gotta go make the donuts.
I do this earlier because But
that's the balance.
Honestly, it ate into our TV time. So
it's like having a small baby. It's like by the time we get him settled, do everything and do even the smallest thing for ourselves. I mean, like going to the bathroom small.
Yeah.
It's already 8:30.
Yeah.
And if we go live at 9, that's the end of our night. So it's kind of like I have no family time if I go up at 9. But if I were to go up at 11 every night, y'all think I'm sleepy now.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
It'd be bad. I mean, I wouldn't get through the first story.
No.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the balance, So I try to strike a balance, and pre-taping is very difficult. Oh, we got a super chat.
Oh, top rappers. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to obviously start out with El Boogie with Miss Lauren Hill, because come on. Besides just her excellence and dominance as a rap artist, as a hip hop lyricist and MC. She went to my high school. Yes, that's right, Jersey again.
You
And
do a Jersey counter.
oh yeah, I mean, and don't let me get on the Gemini thing too, because that's the other. And most of your favorite rappers, almost all of them, they got some Geminis in there, multiple ones. Speaking of Gemini, Andre 3000. I have a newfound appreciation for Black Thought. I always love Black Thought, but Mark has made me, infuse his Philly in. But I always love Black Thought. I'm trying to think of ones that we talked about this too. Ones that like you just deeply you have a personal feeling about. Ones that I mean, part of it is that people just become trash and trash and trash. Because honestly, Big was one of my faves, but then you kind of get only like. And Nas was always was a again like Nas was a very serious fave. I'm still gonna have to put him on there though. If I had to be just straight, so I would say El Boog, Andre, Nas. We did it before. Who was I? Now I'm trying to think of. I feel like we had this conversation and I wasn't sure who to put for my.
Well, there's one person you haven't mentioned that I'm surprised. Not surprised, but
I'm like, who? I feel like I'm forgetting one of my.
Jay-Z, maybe.
I do love Jay. I do love Jay.
It's like that spot could be Jay, it could be Big, it could
It's
be
because there's so many people who have a particular level. That's what I'm trying to think of, like the Big, and then you start picking. Because for me personally, I probably would love Big more than Jay, just because of my particular era of loving very early, like right before Jay kind of drops Reasonable Doubt. But
people are throwing suggestions in it. Some people said to Jay. Some people say Rakim.
I mean, Rakim to me ends up on the list because he, to me, was the first one to start to flow in a very particular kind of way that changed the nature of hip hop. And so, I love that. And I mean, yeah,
so it feels like the choice people feel like they have to say they want.
Yeah, because when you have to, and again, when you have to sort of say, like, if you're going back and thinking about things chronologically, you almost have to pay homage to who started it. But then if you had to think about who you enjoy the most, who would you, if you go, because then there's like if I was only on, if I had 5 albums, like if I could pick from or artist, like music from 5 artists, and that would be the only thing that I could listen to for the rest of my life, like who would I absolutely actually want to listen to?
Right.
And yeah.
That's where it gets tougher. I mean, what about Kanye? Where would Kanye fit for you? Would he be in that mix for you?
I mean, if I had to pick out like people who I would want to hear forever, give me some of them Kanye albums. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
I think that makes sense.
If I had to really say, I mean, like besides like, him just being a lot like he had more albums, let's say, than Big and stuff like that. But like numbers aside, again, we talk about the Geminis, Biggie, Big, Pac, Andre 3000, Ye, all Geminis. Again, it's kind of a thing.
Is Black Thought a Gemini too?
Who?
I can't remember.
Who?
Is Black Thought a Gemini too?
No, he's not. And I was surprised. Yeah. I don't think so. I feel like I looked up everybody, like who's everyone's typical top 5. Like I was.
Oh yeah, he's October. He's October. I don't remember.
Nas isn't. Black Thought isn't. Lauren is. So literally, like Lauren, Biggie, Pac, Andre 3000, Kanye, all Geminis. Most. Thank you. Royal Sovereign. Most would probably also have to be on there. I know. That's what I thought he said. Honestly, when I didn't hear him, I missed what he said. I thought he was saying was Donald Trump Gemini. That's what I thought he was sneaking in. That's exactly what I thought he was saying.
Is Kendrick in your mix, by the way? I'm sorry, I mean sidetrack. Is Kendrick in your mix?
In my mix, but I think Kendrick's a Gemini. Is Kendrick Gemini too? I feel like but somebody said most. Kendrick would be, but most really is. I would put most on there for me. If I had to think about 5 people, 5 MCs, I would listen all the time to 3 Stacks, Lauren, Big, Most, and Nas.
Yeah, it sounds like your 5's not that different than mine, which again isn't surprising to me. I just I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever actually asked you what your 5 is. I just have a sense of
Yeah,
what.
we went because we would go back and forth about what's the 5 is it the 5 that is the best or the ones you love? Because sometimes you could like, but if I had to only listen to somebody's catalog, Ye would be up there. I mean, because for me, particularly those first couple albums, like, yeah. And then, I love the whatchamacallit. I love Ye and Jay.
Which
And
Ye?
then Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is like one of the best albums to me. Like,
Beautiful Dark Twisted. It's not my favorite Ye album, but I know it's the best one.
it is so good. It's
I
one
enjoy Graduation.
actually like, yeah, to me, like Graduation and all of the first, like maybe the first 3. And then you
Yeah.
just kind of like, you could just like listen. I could just play the other ones just all the way through. And I really love that Jay and Ye. That's just
Watch the Throne.
Watch the Throne to me is just a really great album.
It is. Real quick, Tito 95, we got your comment too. Tito 95 said, Yasin Bey is underrated. I think that's true.
I mean, he is, but I mean, again, part of it is generation. Like our generation, we love him. But part of it is Yasin Bey, most does something different. He's made a decision to kind of to do what he loves, and
Right.
Somebody was playing that the other day, the joint where he's like talking about Drake. He's like, it just was so. It reminded me why I love him so much. Again, he's just so funny and brilliant, and he was like, it's good shopping music. It's it's lots of skews. Like they were just hilarious.
It was hilarious and kind of prescient because everybody kind of off as they fall. Yeah.
It was like he's like it's pop. He's like, it's good shopping music here in Target. You just be like, but yeah, he's. I mean, we saw him with Erykah Badu. Was that last?
Ooh, that was a good show last summer 20.
And again, just loving, just doing what they doing, just being amazing, just like out there.
Most was great. Erica was excellent. I mean, it was just everything. I missed that show. I would go see them again.
I would do that whole and that Jodeci and Jodeci.
Okay, so we do have plans to go to another Jodeci show. However, yes, I'm not entirely comfortable not allowing. I don't sound patriarchal.
I know, but say
I don't feel comfortable. I'll say I don't feel comfortable attending a concert with Melissa and Jodeci because she forgets that she's married. It's like suddenly it's like 92 again, and Mr. Dalvin is like
hard eyes. I'm like, oh, Mr. Dalvin.
So it's funny because I thought like when we went to see Most was giving out roses.
Oh yeah.
And you could have got one.
I know. I do feel a little weird. Like I mean, and let me tell you, Mark is like, yeah. I mean, he's amazing. Like when it comes to this, I have to say, as a husband, as a man, just like he's just not. Your ego is just not that delicate. Yeah, like and so I know I could, but I think there's still that part of me just felt like, oh, would it be disrespectful? Because I definitely wanted that rose from Yasin back.
We here.
He was like, and I was like, and then what I really wanted, because you were asking if I wanted to, meet Dalvin, and I was like, no. My father's too, like, I'm from Jersey. Like, I never want to look like I'm beat or like I'm a stan. So like, I'm like,
well, he was standing right. We were literally front row. He was like as close as he was right in front of us. So it wasn't even extra. You almost had to go out of your way not to.
I know it felt like I was avoiding.
Right.
Like I was like, but I loved him so much. He was just so much energy, He still had it. Right. I was like, husband. I was like, I ain't got no one.
I had to legitimately like sit with the possibility that I may go home alone.
I feel like you just never think like, oh, I'm actually going to. Like I remember calling, what's the joint with Madeline Woods? Honey, got the good like Madeline. What was the joint on BET with Madeline Wood?
Oh, and I got the song on that. Let me look. Right.
I remember calling that show. They were on there. I used to tape the interviews. I was That was so hopeful. Now I'm like sitting like exactly in front of you. It's just
That
wild.
was video LP. Video LP.
Video LP. I used to tape I used to put on I have a whole video cassette of all of their videos and interviews. The obsession was real. That's it.
It was. Tito 95 wrote in and said, Black on Both Sides to Ecstatic, 2-door albums, most def in my top 5. Well, me personally, he'd go, and I respect that, Tito. Like, you know, I think your personal GOAT doesn't have to be who everybody else's is. And although I think that's a legitimate personal GOAT.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I can't
even like far-fetched.
No, but he does beautiful things with music. Like even when I was there, I mean, like he was started doing the joint, my name's Black Dante, the joint, Beauty in the Dark. Like it is one of my, and it's a random, but it's just like, yo, I'm like the way he's my name's Black Dante. I can't resist when you pass my way. Like, oh my God. Now I do have a most deaf story. Can tell my most deaf story.
Yeah, tell your most deaf story.
I was at a party one time. Again, hearts in my eyes, and he was doing Top Dog Underdog, and I was at a party, and he, like, at the end of the night, he walked by and just told me that I was killing my dress or something like that, and I could have died right there. I was killing my dress. I was like, ah, but I was hanging out with somebody. I was dating somebody. Well, I was with somebody I had dated, and then that just set off a whole, again, people who are not that confident, because he was like. I was like, that was most deaf. He was like, what did he say to you? And I was like, he said that I was like, I was wearing my dress.
Wearing that dress, you killing that dress. Yeah.
He was like, what? I can't be with you. Like, I was like, oh Lord. He was like, I mean, what? He's like, I love most. He's like, now I can't fuck with him anymore.
He's like the Ryan Howard joint. We like.
He's like off my list. The guy's like top 5 t-shirt on. He's like, he's off my list. But he's like, what? Yeah, I just remember that. And I think because I was standing like somewhat by him. And I was like, that was most deaf. He was like, what? He's like, he didn't see me here, that whole thing. But I think he actually didn't see him there necessarily. I don't know. I don't care.
He ain't saying nothing to me.
Again, Mark is just not like that. So again, I could have gotten that rose.
You could have totally got that. I thought it'd been a great story. I would have videoed it and everything.
No, I don't know. It just feels weird next to you.
I get that.
It just feels weird next to you. I don't know. It's just, I think that's my daddy kicking in. Like, all right, don't be disrespectful with it.
I would not feel.
I mean, again, like, it's not like, I'm like sliding him the number on as well to Mr. Dalvin. Like, here you go, next time. That's the February show. Never again.
I learned my lesson.
I'm getting all the hugs, slipping on my digits.
Oh man! A shout out to Rosability who gifted 10 memberships for the channel. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's dope.
So generous. Anybody out there? We're gonna wrap it up in a second. We literally. You turn into me, we'll be like, yeah, just a couple more questions. And then before you know it, more time passes. Because the questions be good and the conversation be good.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah. Baby, I'm begging, baby. Yeah, come on. For those who are the 90s, especially those of us who are teens, like you can be a teenager and be looking at Jodeci like, like that's all like.
I get it. I mean, again, I was never the Jodeci stan. Like I got home, like one of my homies, James. Like he's like hardcore Jodeci.
Who did you love, Mark? Tell everyone. Do the people know who you loved? And again, it's not a bad choice, but tell everyone who you loved.
I have absolutely no shame in saying that I loved High Five.
And we actually had to sit down. Because we were doing these. We were doing our own verses.
Yes. We're good at doing our own verses.
I feel like we did this before the verses came out.
Yeah, we did. It was less compared. It was more me fighting for the credibility of.
Yes. And again, I respect it. High five, dope. You know what I'm saying? Like some of it, could I hear my man's voice all the time every day? No. Could most people? Probably not. But definitely respectable. And like going through the list, I respected them. But you ain't. But Jodeci, like someone said, royalty. We talking about R&B royalty, right here.
I mean, it's definitely a different level. It's like Anthony just mentions cut close. Like High
Yes.
Five is the Jodeci of cut closest. You know what I mean? Like there's levels, know what I'm saying? So like
High Five is higher than cut close.
that's what I'm saying. They're the Jodeci of cut closest. Like if I in that tier they're kicking it, they're washing people. When you get to the Jodeci level, that's a different level.
It's Jodeci, is Boyz II Men.
Yeah.
They make beautiful songs. I mean, I love like I mean, there's so many great High Five, like a lot of hits. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like they had real, especially if you actually go through and you like as we did. Soul for Real Love, we watched a little. Did you watch that with me, or was it one of those things I watched? Talking about Soul for Real, and it was interesting to see why
I didn't see no Soul for Real, nothing.
It may have been. It was something where they do.
No, for real. Oh wait, never mind. Withdrawn. I did see it with you. We watched it on TV one.
Because I was like, it was a black network. Like, yeah, because it was like, oh, good. This is like we wouldn't see this anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they and like why they didn't get their second album and how they just kind of disappeared. Yes. SWV, again, if we talk about in terms of SWV to me, like is another, like they're up there.
And we saw them live too.
Yes. They were in that concert. It was SWV, Jodeci, and Drew Hill. That was like, and we missed most of Drew Hill because we were late. But yeah, that combination, like I need SWV and Jodeci to do it again. I would go and watch that all.
That shit was fire.
Oh, so good, so good.
Which only makes it even wilder. Wait, I'm sorry.
Somebody say Faith Over Mary.
We're gonna put a pin in that because we got to come back to that.
Yes,
my head is about to explode. What was I just talking about? That just totally threw me off.
I know. Faith Over Mary. Wait, what? Someone said Faith Evans over
no,
Mary.
Before that craziness.
Was it one before that?
Oh, SWV. It was just like watching that concert. It was like, okay, when I saw them and Escape having that battle over who was going to have the closing song, who was going to be the closer, who was going to be the finale, and it was like either going to be Weak
or Understanding.
I'm
sorry. In what world is Understanding? I mean, even if you in Atlanta, I'm sorry. Understanding is great. One of my favorite, like, love it.
I don't care if you're in the So Def studio. Shit. I don't care if you're Jermaine Dupri's living room. The answer is Weak.
It's Weak all the time. Like Weak is like one of the best R&B songs of all time. Yeah, like you can't. That I was like, well, y'all are playing yourselves. I don't know if you're fooling yourselves. You've convinced yourselves that you all are in some other space because of social media, because of who has more followers. No, like Weak is on.
It's not even close.
Not even close.
Weak does something that, I mean, there are a few songs in the world to me that do what Weak does for me and from our generation. I mean, it's like,
yeah, forget it. And again, Understanding came out the next year, so it wasn't even like they're far. Like it's like
right.
They're basically contemporaries. Like they were playing themselves. I was like, all right, don't let your followers, your social media followers, which have nothing to do with your music, really.
They will get you
have nothing to do with your music. Don't let And again, I like them, but
I like them too.
That was just a very weird. That show was very interesting to watch. That was a good one. I think they're going to do that again when they were on.
And I enjoyed watching that, and that's something I wouldn't normally watch. But I watched it.
I think we just ended up. Did we watch it because you were going to talk to one of them?
No, a little bit, but then I kind of just got into it, and then
I think people were talking about it on social media. So I was like, wait, I got to see what this little what. I was like, they're together, okay,
right? Oh, don't get me started about Shy.
Oh yeah, love Shy.
I wish they put out more material.
I know they don't have as much, but what they did.
Baby, I'm Yours. When I hear Baby, I'm Yours, I feel like it's 90. What was it? 92?
Feels 93.
Was it 93?
93.
Okay, I know. I was just getting in the high school. Yeah, it was a summer.
That was 90. Right. Yeah, so like that was 92, and then because by the time Week had whatchamacallit was in Garfield was in Week. Because they were together. I think he was with Coco at the time.
Shout out to Garfield, my brother, Dr. Garfield.
Representing.
And shout out to all the people we just mentioned, by the way. That's one of the things you learn to do when you do this job, and you know some of these people is you got to be real careful. Not you're naturally good at it, but sometimes my instinct is to like talk a little bit heavier than I should, and then you be seeing these people later and be like, "Oh, I heard you ain't like my," you know what I mean?
No, which is also so weird too. People It's just a weird, like people actually hearing and knowing about it. I mean, we were talking about that the other day where a YouTuber was making a comment about Common, and I was like, didn't he worry? I don't know. It's just
Right.
like some had a very strong opinion that wasn't particularly kind.
It wasn't very nice. Yeah.
It wasn't very nice. And I was like, but again, part of it is that people want it to be a little bit salacious so that it can kind of circulate and go viral.
Right.
But sometimes it's
Which I understand. But
like,
it's
I mean, we have opinions, and we all got opinions, but sometimes it should just be like, damn, that's just mean. Like, and sometimes I mean, like, yeah, like if I don't like it, I don't like it. I mean, I hate, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. I get that. Like if I say, look, I don't love this new album, that's different. I do respond differently knowing that the likelihood of me seeing this person or this person seeing me say it,
yeah,
even if I never meet them, is different. Like I used to go in on Family Matters. I mean, because I hate that show.
Family Matters.
I hate that show for a lot of reasons, right? I mean, I just think it's a terrible show, right? And I hate what they did to
Judy.
I wouldn't even go there, but yes. No, but that's another major thing, right?
Because again, speaking of for the comedy heads, I watched the whole again in the bathroom. I watched all the episodes of the dark side of comedy, which I think was on Hulu. And one of the episodes was about Family Matters, and it was interesting to see them talk about. And she was on there and talked about. I mean, it was tough. And Darius McCray, like they all. But you were saying, I'm sorry. This is something to watch too. Interesting.
No, that's dope.
Yeah, I remember I said you should watch the episode because of how you felt about Family Matters. It was interesting to see the background and everybody's feelings.
Right.
Family Matters became just, and they talked about in the show that they basically it got no awards or anything like that, but it was sort of like Carl Winslow was a cop, and they basically wanted to kind of create. They decided that they needed to kind of get on the black game and they needed to create a black family, but they wanted to make sure that. And then basically once they had Urkel come on there. He got so much, he skyrocketed the ratings that they just kept including. And I loved it. Urkel first came out because I was like the 5th grade. So it was like he was hilarious to us. We would repeat the things in school. It was like, but then he got older and they kind of ran out of things and they just kept and all of a sudden by the end, they're like, he was like going into the machine and they were just coming out with ridiculous things. And it just was, and then what they did with you, they just decided that I forgot because she didn't have a bad relationship with what's his name, the dude that played Steve Urkel. I don't keep calling
Little White. Yeah, he talked crazy about it in the last week.
Yeah, like he was apparently like part of the reason that it looked like
her timing was bad. She wasn't good comedically.
She was a little girl. It was very cruel for someone who was a child, and deserved better protection and better care for her. And
and behind the scenes, people just said that he was a hard person to rock with. Yes, I didn't like. I mean, it was the show was supposed to be a working class version of the Cosby Show. That was the idea, like you said. Like we're getting in the black game. We want to do that, and we don't need another doctor and lawyer. Let's have an elevator operator and a cop.
That's what she did, right? Because she was on
Perfect Strangers.
Right.
So that was one of the great spinoffs. I mean, that was one of the most successful spinoffs in TV history.
Did they really call that a spinoff? They just
She was Harriet Winslow.
She was Harriet Winslow on
at the Chicago Sun Times, and Balky and Larry would talk to her, and she would talk about her son. It wasn't like Maude where like Florida had a whole different situation, and they just kept the name.
Yeah,
like this was very much and they did some crossover stuff. Like Carl came, I believe, to the paper once or twice, and then they did a full thing, and it was good. I mean, even the that little Pops Armstrong, what a wonderful world, it's for the opening thing. Never again. Nope.
One more time.
And it was quaint and it was nice. And then, like you said, it was like they did the Jimmy Walker thing for Good Times, where they were like, "Yo, like people laugh a lot more, and white people pay a lot more if we got somebody going dynamite, or did I do that
forever?" And then they just jumped the shark. You're right. They just went bananas. Like they just got so ridiculous. And someone said I could not take the ruining of the house. I was like, this is enough. Like it just hurt.
We used to fuck that. There is nobody who could tear up a cop's house that much
and just keep coming back. Like
right.
Like no.
It is wild.
He was stand up?
Yeah, he was. I always thought he was a mediocre stand up, but yeah, I never enjoyed him. But he was a big. He was no, he was that. Yeah, for a minute he was that guy.
Yeah.
And they tried to get him to again. They tried to like cross. So like in some of the later episodes of Good Times, they did it with all of them. Thumb was a dancer, so they showed that easy. But they would have rent parties, dollar parties, fundraisers.
You ever watch just all the times to showcase the talent? Get
And that's all it was. Because Michael put out a single. Michael from Good Times put out that single. He did what is that song? When You're Young and in Love. He redid When You're Young and in Love. And he like it was a disco version he did. And it was a single they released, and it did as well as you would imagine it would do.
Right. You're Michael from Good Times?
He couldn't sing.
I know.
He couldn't sing. I mean, they really tried to push that Eddie Winslow singing thing.
Oh, hard.
Which was hard. And again, Eddie Winslow and Tracy Spencer, the weirdest scene ever. He's a bellboy in a hotel. He happens to hear Tracy Spencer singing in her hotel room. And he just busts in the room and starts singing the male parts.
Right.
Security? It's like, get this motherfucker. They'd still be tasering his ass right now.
Yeah, they did the most. Yeah.
All right, we gotta go. I know you gotta go to bed, but it's so much fun. All right, we had to address this person because this is someone who needs intervention.
Faith over Mary. I mean, it's interesting because Faith probably has a better voice.
This box of water probably has a better voice. That's not the issue.
But hey. Yeah, she has a better voice. But Mary is something else. Mary, again, it's tough because once you do My Life, I just find it hard to do. Like the albums are just so much better. Her albums are just so much better.
Right. And by the way, Faith is from Jersey, so for Melissa to forego her Jersey chauvinism to choose a non-Jersey, I is saying something.
I know. I'm choosing MJB over my Jersey girl because and again, I get the appeal, especially because I really love that first Faith album. You know, like that was really nice. But again, when so Puff pivoted towards putting energy towards her, but Mary, them albums. That's why I'm like, please don't. I can't have Mary anything come out terrible with her. That's
it won't. I'm naming and claiming it.
I'm gonna act because My Life, My Life alone, and then like I really love What's the 411. I really love Share My World.
And What's the 411 remix album?
What's the 411 remix is fantastic.
That shit was crazy.
Mary though, the first album where I felt like there was a track or two I didn't like, and then things kind of.
Yeah, but then she came back. I mean, so What's the 411 for me was amazing. I remember 8th grade dance. You Remind Me was out.
7th grade, yes, over the summer.
Yeah, and then by the time Real Love hit, I mean, we spent a solid 2. I was in the high school band. I don't know if I mentioned that on here, but we spent a solid 2 years trying to master all the parts of Real Love.
That Real Love thing was so serious for the bands.
Real Love was the shit. But then when What's the 411 remix came out, because that had one of my favorite songs of Mary's, You Don't Have to Worry, which wasn't on the original one. They were married with she had the do-rag and she was sitting there.
It's just all the feels. It's just such a moment. It's just such a moment. Again, I love Share My World. I love because Mary, I love the Mary album because she has Let No Man Put Us Under, and as a Jersey head, that to me is one of my.
Yeah, you like that because y'all like that.
That's straight up house. Like
that's all house.
No man put us under. Like that, I just so good. So again, even in that album, still had something that that I love, and then yeah.
I'm trying to think. Share My World for me. I love I Can Love You.
Mm-hmm.
That's
be hugging, yeah.
Oh my God! She said, "I lie for you, die for you, Ruger about to die for you, right hand high for you, man." It don't get no better than that.
Yeah, that was again. That's part of it was a moment too. Like I had my first little love at my first real love. No pun intended. But yeah, like, but I'm sorry, what? What
Yeah.
are we talking about? No, so there's a way that Share My World reminds me of that and him and that moment of like coming of age a little bit more. And
Yeah.
but Real Love and whatchamacallit is like, yeah.
And
Those
of
are,
course, the song Lauren wrote,
yes.
uh, that song.
Cherubims, you're like, what? Like, like when did Mary start? Oh, Lauren.
Right.
Right.
We're talking about uh
Um,
you're
wait. Now I gotta.
no, don't cheat.
Only because we're on this now.
All that I can say.
All I
It's
can
all
say.
that I can say.
Yeah.
You don't need no Google, baby. You got me.
Okay.
I love that. Oh, you are everything too. Is dope.
Again, that album is actually like You Are Everything is a beautiful song.
Yeah.
All because of you. I can't sing y'all, so sorry to inflict it upon you. But yeah, those. I mean, you all feel like you could sing though when you get a Mary album.
You get a Mary song.
Yeah, it's gritty. It's just like, and again, this is the beginning of, this is the real, the hip hop R&B. It's like
Right.
like the combination with these beats and his voice and then the feels, and it's just so yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And again, I love Faith. Shout out to Faith. Good people too.
Not the Faith, like, I mean, especially again that first also has like a feel of that reminds me of something, but Mary is just something special. It's for us to like our generation, we're always gonna put Mary in just a very
Mary's the pinnacle for us. I think for anybody of our generation, hip hop, R&B, like there's just not another Mary. There is nobody else. She's one on one, and I really mean that. Like there's not even anybody else I would put in that.
She's someone I'd love to meet. I would love to meet Mary. Just for that, like the people who you just like, man, people you just loved over the years. Like, I really loved Mary.
I would like for you to. I'll make sure that we're in a situation where we can meet Mary.
Yeah. I get all weird when I see people over because I just, again, it's part of it is I get a little nervous, but then part of it is also like, I'm not beat though. Like, I'm not pressed. Like, I don't want to look like I'm like.
I'll be having to make her meet me. I mean, we were literally on the floor with Allen Iverson.
Another hard eyes.
Right. Again, the 90s. It's that 90s vibe.
That was early. That was the late 90s.
Late 90s. I'm sorry. Yes.
Early aughts. What are early aughts?
Right. And so we walked. I was like, "You want to meet him?" So I walk over. He gives me a hug. We like. He's like, "What's up?" I was like, I introduce you, and I was like, "There's still a small part of me that's afraid to ask him." So there's two things. One is Allen Iverson. I knew AI from the back in the day when like he wasn't giving pictures, like when he was like the late nights up at Fridays on City Line Avenue. Like I would, and we all the same age. You know what I mean? Like he's a few years older, but like we in the same like it's not like I'm a 50-year-old man asking a 20-year-old for one or a 10-year-old asking a 20-something-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So in the 90s, that wasn't the move.
In terms of ages, around more.
Say again?
I said, yeah, we're more like peers in terms of ages.
Right. But then the second thing is, again, it's the Dalvin disease, right? It's like, I think my wife's gonna leave with me.
Oh, I'm sorry. AI is born a day after me. He's a few years. He's 4. He's got 4 years. I mean, but like, I'm sorry. He's a day after another Gemini. June 7th.
Something else for y'all to talk about?
Right. I'm like, I have to bring this up next time.
But I had to but despite all of that, I had to still like be like, yo, take the picture.
I was like, okay.
I'll take the coolest picture.
I'm like, oh God, I'm becoming a cornball. I was like, thank you. And you know what to say? It's always so weird. Like, hi, okay. Like
I think it's easier if you're with me though, because it's like, oh, my wife wants a picture.
It's just in that moment, literally, when you're taking the pictures, like, hi, you're real awesome. Okay.
Right.
Like it's very awkward and weird. Like I
get it. And I don't like asking people for pictures either. It's rare.
And I don't think you do it enough. Like I had to force him for Dr. J. Like
Yes.
you were not gonna, and I'm like, no, you got to get a picture with Dr. J. Like
You like David tracked him down. You was
yeah, I'm
like,
like,
you
no,
was like, you was like, right. You was like Larry Bird and
right,
83. Like you made him go left. I was like,
where you going?
right.
Come take this picture.
It was,
Yeah.
it was. I appreciate that. 'Cause I'm glad that now I'm now glad that I had a
Right.
picture with Larry Bird. I mean, Dr. J.
Dr. J.
That's a big difference.
Right. I had a picture with Mr. Dalvin.
Yeah, but we're gonna get you a picture with Mr. Dalvin, maybe. Depends on how you acted at Jodeci concert.
I know. Where can he put his hands? That's the thing. Everybody always looks very weird when they're also taking a picture with me. Like, where'd I put my hand here?
Right.
How far in the back? Yeah.
Oh man. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching this. All 3,855 of y'all.
Hey, y'all. That's a lot.
I really appreciate y'all for watching. It's been fun. Isn't it fun?
Yeah, it's fun. That's because we just be yapping, but I really like the questions.
And it's literally been an hour and a half. We went an hour and a half.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
And we just got home. We just literally just got home, put our son to sleep, and
right. So we talked about doing it on the car ride back, but I wasn't sure we were going to do it, and I started getting sleepy. But I was like, it re-energized you, and that's what one of the comments from Jazz LP. Shout out to Jazz LP. She was like, yeah, Mark will say he's sleeping, only doing 5 more minutes, scratch his beard. But if you ask him about his top 5, he's going another hour.
I was like, we're so tired. I was like, I just asked you, I checked in, like, all right, like, let me know, because otherwise, I'm gonna do my routine.
Right. And apparently watched some.
Right, because right now,
in
terms of what I'm watching now, I'm watching. This week I always come out and talk about what we're watching on TV. I'm watching Somebody Somewhere on HBO, which is another a nice show. Just it's I like family shows, but I also just like, sort of complicated relationship shows in terms of, so that's one that came up. And then I'm starting to watch Togetherness because it was also on HBO. But yeah, not super funny, but they're just more, sort of dramedies, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm watching now. So that's I'm gonna watch now.
Yo, y'all need to follow her recommendations. Honest to God, they're all good.
Yeah. I mean, again, depending on what you're looking for, but got a little something. Yeah, I'll come hang out.
Jazz LP said come back. AK said come back. We're gonna make sure that happens. D said come back. And of course, Orlando, I'll give you the final word because you're 100% right. Geminis are cool and all.
This is
sad season.
It is sad season. Respect.
That's all we. Hey, look, Sagittarius and Geminis do great. So
we do well.
Look at that girl.
I love my Cancer. I'm a Cancer moon and Cancer arising. So that's all my.
See, I don't even know what those words mean, but
water.
Everybody, before you go, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course, if you're so inclined, please hit that join button. We love when you do that because when you hit the join button, you become a monthly supporter of the channel, which gives us the financial stability we need to do the work that we do every single night here. Also, make sure you, if you can't make the monthly commitment, make sure you go to Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle and drop something in. If you drop $1 in, we are grateful. If you drop $1 million in, we'll be really, really grateful. But anything in between,
work is for suckers.
Right. Exactly. I'm out. Anything in between, we appreciate too. But the goal tonight is that if everybody watching right now were to drop $10 in, if everybody were to drop $10 in right now, we will be able to meet our financial goals for the month. Again, no amount is too small, no amount is too big, but we are incredibly grateful if you could do $10 tonight to help us meet our financial goals for the month. I normally don't pick up this screen after I go, but because my beautiful wife is here, I am going to go one more time right here to say goodbye, y'all. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we'll see y'all soon.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.